Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Michael Cole. I know a lot of you guys know me as the host of Das 101 TV. I came up with a cool idea. I want to start a little series called Breakfast with Mike. Now, not literally breakfast, just giving you guys food of thought and sharing just some of the experiences that I learned through my journey when it comes to business. And the thing I want to talk about in this series is about positioning. I know in the entertainment industry, in the music industry, people always say the game's supposed to be sold, not told. But guess what? Today, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you free money, free moolah, free game, and hopefully it's helpful for you. Make sure to leave a comment. Let's talk about it. I'm also just a student of the game. This year been a very, very incredible year for Das 101 TV, for 101 Entertainment, the whole team. God has been pouring out his blessings, and we want to continue to grow. We want to continue to push ourselves as leaders, as businessmen, so we just could reach the heights and get to the place and receive everything that God has for us, right? And life is about growth. So more you know, so more you will grow. Okay, so let us jump in. So the point we want to talk about is positioning yourself for success. How do you position yourself for success? Number one, you need a team. No team, no championship, right? Now, how can you pick the right team? That's the big question. Well, let me give you a basketball analogy, okay? If you go to the park and you are the team captain and you look around on who to pick, but you don't know anybody on it, you don't know their skills, all you have is kind of your judgment, your intuition, who you think, might look the part, but it doesn't mean they know how to play, maybe some stereotypes, they're tall, okay, that's gonna help us, he might be able to dunk and to block the ball, things of that stuff, externally you could judge it, but you will never know till you play with the team. And when the second day comes around and you're the team captain again, it makes you a more experienced picker because you kind of know people's skills and where they at, right? So it comes through experience. Having people on your team and playing with them in the field as you know who are the right team players for you. Now, the big mistake a lot of people do, a great friend doesn't always equal a great business partner. Likewise with family. Sometimes we think, oh man, I have this friend, be perfect, I know him for a long time, or the family member. It sometimes can be difficult. I'm never opposed to it because it does work in some cases. I'm just saying to be careful. That could be a red flag. Not always let that be the main priority when you choose a team. Because with friends and with family members, if you ever need to correct them or whenever you need to say no, they might take it offensive as a personal attack.
Hey, Willie! Willie, can I see you in my office for a moment, please? What for?
So it sometimes becomes very hard for them to distinguish. So important is to have communication. Whoever is on your team, you should sit them down and tell them what you expect of them and let them know what they can expect of you. So everybody's in a loop of what's going on. Once people know what's going on, they feel more comfortable and they have a more better understanding of taking things in context. So we talked about finding the right team, but what about knowing your team? That's equally important. You succeed or fail not on the strength of your idea or your product, but on your strength of your team. A solid team is so, so important. I couldn't stress that enough. For instance, let me give you an example. Wealthy people, investors, people with money, whatever you might want to call them, they just don't want to invest in a bulletproof business plan if you don't have a solid team that could execute what's inside of the business plan. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to do the research. They expect you to do the work and that you already have done the homework and done your research. They want you to double or triple or quadruple or whatever, take their money and turn it into more money. Very simple. So just having a bulletproof business plan, a marketing plan, or whatever it might be, you need to have a team. If you can show them you have the team that can execute, most likely they will not invest. So know your team. Don't be a one-dimensional leader. Try to experience with repositioning your team. Now, this is not for big company. Those strategies I would use more on startups and smaller companies. Because when you work for bigger companies, people are already going to come in with their expertise. When you work for startups or smaller companies, you kind of grab people kind of as you meet them and you try them out. And some nowadays, a lot of people have many different skills, but you got to find in what skill they're the best in. So sometimes repositioning can really help your team and your player to really find their strength so they really could execute at a higher level. Also, you have to make room for people to fail and to improve. Simply what I'm saying, failure equals experience. If you never fail, how will you ever know? Very simple. But let us move on. Let's move on. Being a master of execution. Very important. A lot of times what I see, company overload the workers with workload. And again, always remember how they say, quality over quantity. It still works. I mean, you could build a team of gladiators, brutal gladiators, but without the proper balance, it will compromise or cripple them to execute. So sometimes it's better to take on lesser workload and practice to execute that, and then eventually that will get better and then take on more of a workload instead of just taking a lot of workload just because you can make money, but it lacks the execution, because at the end you will lose more clients and you will find your product will be more at a failing stage than when you just take a little bit of workflow and try to master that and give people you give that product your full attention so you know you can execute it. Remember, people want results. Who doesn't? So when a client hires you, they want to see results. I mean, yes, you could take on a bunch of clients, but if you can't execute, then it's vanity, because you're going to build a bad name for yourself. And remember, a reputation is very, very important, and it's very hard to recover from a tarnished reputation. So now I'll leave you guys with this. This is the last point. Look for people that not just believe in you, but also believe in a company's vision. Very important. Now let me explain. Company culture versus vision. Company culture is just as important as vision. And company culture is what? Implementing some of the things we talked about. You know, training your team up to be masters of execution, the art, teaching them the art of executing properly, right? Because if not, you have all the vision you want to. Without that in place, you will never reach your vision. But also, if you are the vocal point of the company, people will work to please you. If the vision is the vocal point of your company, people will do whatever it takes to see the vision come to fruition. So if you are the vocal point, it's limited. If the vision becomes the vocal point, the opportunities are endless.